Welcome to Biz Talk, everyone. I'm your host today, Rachel Weaver. I have a very special guest with me today, Noura Al-Masri. She is an enrolled agent with the Internal Revenue Services and the founder and CEO of Nourasbooks. She is also an international best-selling author. Noura, it is always a pleasure to have you with us each and every week. We're super excited to dive into today's topic.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm happy to be with you.
So, I'm excited to talk to you a little bit today about taxes in nonprofits and the different benefits if you are a business owner donating to a nonprofit rather than paying more on taxes. So, what can you share with us? What tips do you have in terms of the benefits of a business owner donating to a nonprofit?
So when you are a business owner, of course, you worry about the deduction because you want to make sure you actually save on taxes as much as possible. Keep your money in your pocket to better your business, make sure you reinvest the money. But that only can be to a certain point. Then, like, I'm not going to spend money just to spend money, right? And when you actually donate, that means you are donating to an organization you believe in the cause, you believe in their mission. So you are kind of have the say on your money. I want my money to go here. While when you pay your money in taxes, you don't have control anymore. So you kind of have to spend your money the way the government wants to spend it. So you don't have any say. So if you don't agree on something, it doesn't matter. Your money is going there. Now, yeah, of course, there's a certain amount of taxes you have to pay, and that's okay. But we want to minimize the taxes as much as possible, so you have control about your money. And when you donate to nonprofits, and you want to make sure the nonprofit you donate to is registered in the U.S. and have 501c3 in the U.S. to be qualified for tax exemption, so you can benefit as a business or as a person to actually when you donate your money. So you can deduct up to 60% of your adjustable gross income when you donate to a nonprofit, a qualified nonprofit rather. So this is really a huge amount. This is why a lot of people have their own foundation, because no one wants to give 60% of their AGI to just any nonprofit. They distribute the money, but then like they at certain point it's very beneficial to have your own nonprofits if you're ready.
If you're ready, exactly. I do love that. That's so true. So if you are a nonprofit, not just is it great because you're receiving all those donations, but as the nonprofit who's receiving them, do we have to pay taxes as the nonprofit? What are the laws there?
So for nonprofit itself, if it's donation, you don't have to pay taxes. But if you're selling services, selling products, especially if it's unrelated. So if it's unrelated business, meaning that does not align with your mission, something different just to get money, then you might have to pay taxes. And we want to pay attention when you actually file your tax return at the end of the year, which is coming up on May 15. If you are in a calendar year, you want to make sure to see if you have to file 990T, which is when you have to file in addition to the 990 you are filing, if you are having any unrelated business income. So you want to make sure you are working with a professional who knows tax law for nonprofits, because that's really different from any other tax returns.
Wow, that's important. So, as a nonprofit, I know a lot of founders of nonprofits also own their own company. So, would it be smarter to maybe sell products not attached to the nonprofit and keep that in your business, or does it have to be attached if it has anything to do with the nonprofit?
You have to have that separation. So you have to have the separation. So it depends. So there's no one answer fits all. And often in taxes, there's no one answer fits all. So really, it depends. And what I recommend for that, to actually consult with your tax professional. And also, when you do tax planning, it's very, very beneficial, because when we do tax planning, what we do is take the scenario, like all the entire situation. If you work W-2, if you have a business, if your spouse work, your marital status anyway, you have kids or not, you have nonprofit or not, or even if you don't have a nonprofit, like sometimes we have a recommendation, okay, we show you, if you donate this much for a nonprofit, this is how much you're gonna save. If you actually invest this much and any other thing, maybe in your business, this is how much you're gonna get. So you are aware of how to spend your money and how to make the separation. You want to make sure you have a clear separation, because there's a lot of ethical stuff and a lot of compliance work. You need to make sure you do not cross the lines. So it's easy to commingle, but you want to make sure you do not commingle. So keep everything separate, and treat everything, your business as a separate business and your nonprofit as a separate business, and your individual finances as separate, in order to keep the protection, to keep everything separate, so you do not have any problem down the road. And also, if any of your entity face a problem, you're not crossing that into another entity, you're losing everything.
Wow, I that's super important because I know a lot of people get confused because I know the lines are, there those are some thin lines that you're allowed to cross with being a nonprofit or 501(c)(3), and those that you're not allowed to. And so it's really important for someone to have an expert so you don't get into any trouble, because I think that implications of being in trouble are quite significant with being a nonprofit.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of details in the tax law. Like, you even rent, for example, like there's no one answer for rent, because you have to read the details, know the exact situation, and see which one applies to the situation. So you cannot really give an answer. I have to ask the client a lot of questions in order to know which one applies to them, and that takes time, and it's a lot of information. And you have to understand tax law when you want to do that, because if you don't understand tax law, you might interpret something that in a wrong way. So that's gonna get you in trouble. So you want to make sure you actually are aware of everything. And I actually recommend that you continuously working in a monthly basis with a tax professional. So for example, like I recommend for all my bookkeeping clients, if they are nonprofit, even if they're not nonprofit, to have that component of tax planning with the nonprofit, monthly nonprofit, to make sure they actually getting benefit of everything they're entitled to, staying in compliance so they don't get in trouble, because getting in trouble can really, really hurt the nonprofits. And yeah, I know a lot of nonprofits think they don't have to pay anything, but even IRS makes you pay for penalty. So you have to make sure you are actually treating your nonprofit as a business. Just being a nonprofit, that does not mean that a business can donate services to you, because let me touch base on this. Donating services is not allowed. So you cannot donate services. So if you are a service business, and you want to actually donate for nonprofits, make sure you donate money, not service, because if you donate service, that does not give you any benefits. It's not tax deductible. It's nothing. It's just volunteering, and no tax advantage for that.
But what about an in-kind donation for your time? I was always led to believe that if you have that and there's a value attached, that counts as a tax write-off. Is that not accurate?
So in-kind donation, yeah, it does have a value. However, if you are a nonprofit, you cannot state that value. So you cannot give a receipt saying that this person donated, for example, 100K of worth of good. You cannot do that. You can say, okay, maybe 100 piece of this items, 100 piece of that item. So you can give a list of things without a dollar value. But in their books, like in the nonprofit books, like accounting, you can actually put a value, but you cannot provide that to the client or the donor. And now, as a donor, you can take that, but when you claim those donations, you will need a professional appraisal if it's more than $500. So that's a professional appraisal that has to be approved by the IRS. They have to give the value to the items that you donated. So it's a lot of complication there. And a lot of people don't take care of that. They don't know this part. But this is why it's not my favorite. My favorite is cash because it's clean, no issues. You don't wanna, like, IRS comes to you later saying, okay, you said you did that, show me this, show me that. This should have been done this way, not that way. So it's not worth it. That's what I would say.
I just know there's a lot of times where people have asked about, because there's a lot of events and people might spend their own money on flights and accommodations, and you're an expert, right? You're in real time expert offering these very expensive services to the nonprofit, and they don't have the money to pay you. And therefore they offer that in-kind donation because that's what you would charge any other company. And so I guess I was just curious as to whether that counts towards a tax benefit.
No, the services is not in-kind donation. So in-kind donation has to be something physical that you can touch. Okay. So service cannot be counted. And if the person who runs the nonprofit knows how to run nonprofit, they should have money. Actually, they should have money more than a business do. Right. And they should be able to afford to pay me and pay a lot of other professionals if they're doing their nonprofit right. If they are not doing the nonprofit right, they should go learn. They should invest in education. They should hire professionals to help them do that. Because think about it. Everyone wants to do good. So all of us donate, even young kids, they do donate. I can't tell you how many times my kids, when they were younger, they come to me and we donated to this and that. Everyone wants to donate, but not everyone is willing to invest money on something, even if they wanted to. Yeah. So here's an opportunity for a nonprofit. They just have to find the ideal donors. And that's what I actually teach in my coaching program. If they are successful, if they know how to manage nonprofits, they will get money, and they should get money because they are required to keep more in compliance than just regular business. And like a lot of tax professionals do not even want to do 990 because of how long it is, how complex it is, and the responsibility behind it. And when someone offers it, it's much you have to pay much more than just paying for your own taxes because it's more complex. So you have to be ready for that as a nonprofit. And if you are not, that means you need to seek some education, get some professional help, and well, people like you have to be willing to invest in your nonprofit, even if the money is not in your nonprofit. Because think about it, if you have a business, even if you don't have the money and you know that's going to bring you more business, you don't mind to invest from your own money. Why, when it comes to your nonprofit, you're not willing to do that? And you can take tax deduction with that. So you are donating to your own nonprofit.
I agree. This is such valuable information. Thank you so much, Noura. Always a pleasure to have you on Biz Talk and learn from you each time you're on. Tell the audience where they can find you, because this is all great information. And my hope is that if you are a nonprofit out there, you need to get in touch with Nora. Do you hear how confidently she speaks about you should have money? And the biggest challenge I see across the board in every nonprofit I'm sitting on the board is we don't have money. So be sure to get in touch with Nora to learn the ways to get access to the funds you need and deserve. Nora, where do we find you?
So you can find me at my website, nourasbooks.com/contact. You can connect with me. And if you go to nourasbooks.com, you go /store, you can find actually all my courses, all the courses I offer, and they can apply to get into my coaching program, the 7-Figure Nonprofit Mastermind. So I can work with you for a year to make sure you actually is comfortable to apply the strategy so you can have money in your nonprofit.
Love that. Thank you so much. And with that, we will be right back after this commercial break.